In our earliest days, the sole source of energy for mankind was the sun. This provided all the light and heat for the first humans in our soon-to-be advancing world. Our first foray into the advancements of energy was unlocking the secrets of fire. Our nights became brighter and safer while humanity had its first taste of what energy could be capable of. Soon after, the wind and water were harnessed as well. Sails carried people and goods to lands all around the world. Wind and rivers ran mills, grinding grains, and fed thousands. A short while later, we discovered the potential of coal, a new source of power that had the capacity to raise humans to heights never before imagined. Machines generated the power in coal-fire boilers, while steamships plowed through the waves, untroubled by the fickle winds of the oceans. Industry boomed, creating more goods and food than anyone could have previously dreamed of.
Cities were aglow all through the night, promising even greater things to come. Liquid energy was quickly uncovered in the form of oil, an easily transportable, cleaner, and incredibly abundant form of power. With these petroleum products, humanity was unstoppable. Automobiles, faster ships, better power generation, not even the ground could hold us. With the creation of smaller, better engines, humanity created its own wings and began to wander the skies. Enormous dams, behemoths of concrete, spanned canyons and could light the homes of entire regions. A constant stream of energy served all the wants that humanity could ask for. Society reached a peaking point. The power of the atom was harnessed, giving the promise of awesome and nearly unlimited powers.
All of these developments in energy have enabled us to progress toward the increasingly technological society we live in today. However, the advances we have made have come with severe consequences for the world in which we live now and for its future. Simply the act of acquiring fossil fuels has irreversibly impacted the environment worldwide. The damaging process of drilling for both oil and gas, fracking, and mining for coal have left ecosystems in turmoil. By the end of the century, if the current rate of consumption remains, we will be left with almost no fossil fuel to use and nothing to leave for our descendants. The burning of fossil fuels releases greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, which have caused an average increase of 1.3 degrees Fahrenheit in temperature that is leading to a complete change in our climate. Ice is melting at rapid levels. For example, Montana Glacier National Park had over 150 glaciers in 1910, but now has fewer than 30 that are continually decreasing in size by 2/3 each year. Droughts, hurricanes, wildfires, and storms are many of the natural effects that have come from global warming. These disasters have a much larger impact on developing countries that do not have the infrastructure to deal with it and have not contributed themselves to the environmental changes. 99% of currently threatened species are at risk for human activities, including sea turtles, giant pandas, orangutans, Javan rhinos, and tigers.
Some of the worst disasters that humans have enabled are oil spills. They result in both immediate and long-term damages, and often these occur dozens of years later. These oil spills affect both humans and animals by disturbing livelihoods, harming health, and altering the environment. The gases released into the air by fossil fuels not only contribute to global warming, but also air pollution, which damages the health of those living in populated areas, particularly in developing countries. Air pollution resulting in death is increasing most quickly in Asia, with about 25% of deaths in India due to air pollution, resulting in about 530,000 deaths each year, compared to only 50,000 in the United States. Nuclear energy is thought to be a better, cleaner source of energy, but its risks are both extremely dangerous and harmful. Nuclear accidents can last generations in the future, causing cancer, deformities, and destroying habitats.
We owe the power to dispose of nuclear waste. As we continue to embrace nuclear energy, we find ourselves with more waste that has potential to destroy lives, alter bodies, and change the future. Nuclear waste can be disposed of by being placed in deep areas within the Earth's crust in order to undergo decomposition, because over time, every form of radioactive material will lose radioactivity. By altering the design of nuclear power plants and choosing more efficiently placed locations, we can use more water to cool down overheating nuclear plants.
We have the power to find cleaner sources of energy other than coal. Most of the effects coal has on the environment can be prevented. Coal was originally one of the only sources readily available to our society. However, we now know that it has major consequences.
So through trial and error, we found examples like nuclear energy, biofuels, solar power, and maybe even someday cold fusion that will enable us to be more cost efficient and have better performance than the previously used coal.
We have the power to prevent oil spills. People have been setting the oil from oil spills on fire to contain it, but a giant underwater dome could contain the spilled oil floating towards the coastlines, and using naturally present microorganisms to clean up oil spills makes use of bacteria living in the ocean, who actually eat the oil when it enters the natural habitat. This technique was actually utilized in the Casco Busan oil spill and worked just as well as previous methods.
We have the power to stop deforestation and plant new trees. Oxygen plays one of the most important factors in keeping our world habitable. We can persuade companies to make an impact by introducing zero deforestation policies. We can replant trees, buy recycled or certified wood products, and create more laws to protect our forests.
We have the power to create more efficient and constant ways to harvest wind and solar energy. The lateral axis wind turbine design can rotate with the direction of the wind, which generates less sound and less drag, is safer for birds and bats, can be built for cheap using locally available materials, and has the potential to generate up to 20 megawatts of commercial energy. Solar shingles are shaped the same as the normal shingles on most roofs, and each shingle produces between 50 to 20 watts of energy. They could cut down on maintenance costs by creating energy for the average family for up to 40 years when traditional shingles are generally replaced every 15 to 20 years. Also, solar shingles use similar technology to solar panels and can be stored locally in a battery or using net metering.